r/ask Reddit. What is an important piece of advice you can give for those moving into the real world? If something is too good to be true, it probably is. People will try to take advantage of you, and you'll probably fall for it sometimes. It's how you learn. Don't be too down on yourself, just learn from it and move on. Trusting your gut instincts is important as well. There are just some situations where you know something's not right. There will be someone who will hate your guts for no particular reason, even if you are friendly with them, or even more so. It will not be your fault. Agreed. Also, something I've been learning in the last couple of years, and it's taken me until my late 20s or early 30s, is that some people are literally just horrible, toxic, whatever, and that's what they are. And not a thing you do or say will change that. Don't waste the energy. The real world is actually really small. Be careful of burning bridges, because you'd be surprised how easy it is to run into someone years and years after you last saw them. Never stop learning. Keep up with your old hobbies and interests, and pick up new ones. Take classes, free ones and pay for those you can afford. Join groups for people with your interests, so you can learn from them and learn from teaching them. I think it's just as important to avoid complacency. It is incredibly addictive, and if you're not someone who has a surplus of self-discipline, reversing the bad habit is going to be a freak. Letting yourself having lazy days is fine and healthy, but keep yourself in check. They can quickly become the norm. Self-discipline is something I wish I had. How can one learn it? People say it's little by little, but yeah, that's the problem. Little by little requires discipline, which I lack. Don't just react to things. Think critically. Take a few seconds to analyze situations and come up with conclusions. Always be self-aware and never let people use your emotions against you. I'd add to this. Think at least as critically about your own beliefs as you do of others. Never react to an opposing view with anger. Take some time to listen and consider it. There is always a chance you are wrong. This is just good advice in general. The intensity of your social life will likely change, and this is mostly a good thing, but be prepared for it. Being outside of school means you are free from a lot of the weird drama that comes with doing everything in a closed system with roughly the same people. There is still drama, but you can almost always escape it because your life is divided now. You don't live with all your friends and work with them. On the other hand, making new social connections is a new challenge because you aren't thrown into a closed system with people all at your stage of life with many of the same problems. But making friends definitely happens. For me, wherever I was in life, it always took me about 1 year to make one new close friend. Patience is key. I would say you make fewer social connections, but a lot of them are of higher quality. A last piece of advice. Don't view work as your only source, or even your primary source. For friends, dates, and hookups, try to keep part of your social life separate. Look after your teeth, because they are expensive to fix. Toothpaste, a good toothbrush and dental floss are cheap, so use them well. Look after your credit rating. It is difficult to fix when it goes wrong. And also remember that things do go wrong, so perhaps have a small contingency available if you can. Learn to save and budget so you know how much you can use and save comfortably. Be good to yourself and look after mental health. Even though money goes in and out of your account automatically doesn't mean you never have to look at your bank account. Just a quick daily check of your balance and spendings will keep you out of a lot of troubles. This is an excellent tip. Money management feels completely different when it's an actual number and not an estimate in your head. It's okay to say no. It's just a job. There will be others. Don't try fitting in if it requires you to break your personal values. Being respectful and polite is cool. Great comment. I feel as if a lot of people can struggle with simply saying no because they believe it is implied as mean. But in reality, it shouldn't be. Agreed. Also, and added to that, respect yourself. Seriously. Don't let people walk all over you or talk down to you. It can quickly become the norm. Don't waste your time worrying if you can help it. It just drags you down and makes you weaker. Hit the gym when you can. Boy, will it make you feel better. And smile. Make a conscious effort to smiling more. It'll be reciprocated and it will make you feel good. Apply the 10-10-10 rule. Will it matter in 10 minutes? Will it matter in 10 days? Will it matter in 10 years? Really helps put a problem into perspective. Consistently live below your means. Save and invest the difference. Get a raise? Cool. Don't change your freaking lifestyle at all and just save the extra income. Edit. In typical Reddit fashion, my comment was taken 100% literally. No crap, you should reward yourself every now and then. Or use that raise to improve your life if it's ass. I'm talking about the people with already comfortable lifestyles upgrading for the sole reason of having more money now. If you're unhappy with your job, put tons of effort into finding a new one as soon as possible. Also learn to recognize toxic work environments. I once saw a guy quit his job in under 4 hours. Just noped right out. A few years back I saw a dude quit immediately after a bad meeting. It was about 10 tech people in meeting. Boss outlines vision of new product. Tech dude explains why this is not a good idea. Boss has a rant about how he can't have negative people on the team and maybe tech dude needs to step out of the meeting while they finish up. Tech dude leaves room. Goes to his desk and writes resignation. Boss was surprised. Why you quitting? Tech dude. You don't want my input. You don't respect my views. Be very careful of being dragged into any sort of workplace drama or politics. That friendly coworker who is dishing you all the dirt as you learn the ropes is looking for allies. You have no obligation to hang out with these people in a social setting. This is great advice. Also, that coworker who tells you crap about people behind their backs is probably talking crap about you behind yours. Best workplace advice I ever got was keep your hands clean. Assume anything you do will only ever be witnessed without any of the context leading up to it. Even if someone else fully deserves retribution, don't stoop to. Because it's very likely management or others will just see what you did and not what justified it. You don't have to know how to do everything. Knowing how to learn and being willing to put the effort into learning it is more important than knowing any one skill. Your attitude is more important than aptitude. An employer can teach you the specific skills needed, but if you aren't a person that people want to be around, then why would they bother? Honesty and humility get you far in the workplace, as it can often be a game of likability. Just be careful not to be a doormat. Exempli Gracia. I work in IT and once I was troubleshooting an issue that ended up being my fault. I told my boss it was my fault. How, why, and what we did to fix it. He told me someone else not only blamed me, but took responsibility for fixing it. I ended up coming out looking better, despite all of it being my fault. Simply because I was honest. I was promoted a few months later. Just because you have the money to buy something doesn't mean that you can afford it. People need to hear this one. I know someone who's got about 5k in credit card debt. But not a completely hopeless situation. He's living paycheck to paycheck trying to pay these cards down. But then the other day he starts talking about how he's about to pay one card off. And then he wants to use it to buy a $700 replica from a movie. Like, dude, you were doing so well. Have a budget and stick to it. Know the difference between wanting something and needing something. Don't forget to add a treat yourself line in the budget. Don't focus on what other people have or do. Stay in your lane and focused on you and yours. Get a cast iron skillet. Cast iron skillet is the most useful thing I own. Don't forget to take care of your physical health. Often people get so caught up in life they forget all about working out or eating right. Most of us end up in sedentary jobs. You don't need to train like an Olympic athlete. Just being active 3 times a week or something is good enough. Maybe picking up a new sport can help you make new friends while you stay fit. Save all you can. Do your best to try to keep at least a minimum $200 in a reserve for in case crap happens money. This is good advice. I would go as far as to say minimum $1,000 of in case crap happens money. I would too. But sometimes even $200 isn't feasible. You're right. But if you can save something, even if it's just putting small change in a jar at the end of the day, it gets you into the habit. Learn how to cook. Sounds basic, but the ability to prepare like an actual meal will help you in life. Zoom out for a big perspective once in a while. Evaluate your life periodically. We are creatures of habit. If you have roommates and live like slobs, you won't really notice that day in and day out. Every once in a while, maybe every 2 months, really look around. What's your life like? Do you have a significant other? Do you want one? Are your habits leading to that or preventing it? Do you come home and watch TV or video game or eat endlessly and are completely one-dimensional? When's the last time you spent time with your mom and dad? Family or long-time friends? Try to balance stuff. Decide what matters. Make small changes so you don't go through life on autopilot. Variety is the spice of life. Sometimes hanging out with family you haven't seen in a long time is the last time you see them. Maybe they are moving and you volunteer to help and then they give you $793 worth of fishing gear they were gonna just throw out and you're like, I'm okay thanks. Then you give that to your dad and he's happier than he's been in years. TLDR. Mix things up. Zoom out and evaluate your priorities. Where do you wanna go in life? Is what you're doing conducive to leading to those things? Don't be rigid with mindless habits and patterns. Do new things and hotties in life. Legal and illegal are not the same as right and wrong. Don't expect things to work out in your favor just because you did the right thing. There is no invisible hand that punishes the bad and rewards the good. It is especially important to not confuse right and legal when describing directions. This cat is walking around and gives no damn crap to anyone. Click like and subscribe and let's all ask for his advice.